Welcome back. One of the things that I keep hearing discussed is what will come out of building workspaces post-COVID. It's an interesting topic, and the big question is, how is life going to change in the office, in apartments, in industrial warehouses, in medical office buildings? What are we going to need? Are we going to need more space per employee? Are we going to need less space per employee because more companies are doing remote working? Are we going to need more space per customer? And how are you going to determine how many customers you have in a particular spot? Are we going to need things like new ventilation systems? Is there going to be some new entry that you have to, force air into your building at certain intervals of time so that you can purify the air a little bit better and so that it doesn't get stale? What about access to floors in high-rise buildings or in multi-story apartment complexes? Are we going to need different systems that allow us floor access to reduce the number of people? Is there going to be a bigger focus on green buildings? Does Corona become a catalyst somehow for doing more green buildings, more LEED certified buildings as a standard rather than as something nice to have? And what about common areas? A lot of buildings treat common areas as an amenity. And with Corona, does that mean that we're going to actually have to reduce the size of our common areas so that there's less gathering space, so that there's fewer people in a particular area? And likewise with amenities. Amenities for the last few years have been ways that multifamily buildings, office buildings have been competing for good employees and or good tenants. Are we going to have to reduce our amenities so that we have fewer communal gathering places so that there's less of a chance of a pandemic spread? It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, but this topic is not done yet. It is on the table. There are a lot of discussions related to it, and I honestly don't think that there's an answer at this point. I think that there is a lot of people trying to figure out what the best way forward is going to be. And I feel that that's going to continue for some time, especially given that we don't know when the end of the coronavirus pandemic will actually happen, despite the rollouts of the vaccines. How do we deal with that? Because at some point, people will continue working, people will continue living in places, people will continue commuting. And so the question is, how do we make it safe for everybody while also making our buildings attractive to tenants and or employees who are working in those buildings? So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. If you could share this or like it, make some comments below. We'd appreciate it. And as always, let's continue growing our cash flow and net worth together. See you on the next video.